Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is the 24th. It's early. Today is the 24th of May. It's Friday, and the moon is in Sag. Of course, the moon was full yesterday in Sag, but it was only like 3 degrees of Sag, I think, or was it even just 2 degrees? I think it was 3 degrees. I should know this. I've done many a video on it. Anyway, let's do it this way. The very early degrees of Sagittarius, of course, with the sun in the very early degrees of Gemini. It just moved into Gemini not too long ago. And because of that, the moon is going to be in Sag for the next, pretty much full day today. And tomorrow, I don't know if it's a full day tomorrow, but it'll be in tomorrow as well. So we get to bring forth that Sagittarius energy for today and tomorrow. Sag is a very freedom-loving sign. It's a philosophical sign, and it does really enjoy waxing philosophical, giving its opinion about things. So we have some opinions we may want to share today, especially after the awareness of the full moon. That's what a full moon does. The full moon, in its way, is a pause in the action. It's an opposition between the sun and the moon, and oppositions are about balance and perspective and objectivity. And so hopefully you were able to look at things perhaps not dispassionately, because there's no such thing, I think, especially these days, especially with the Sag moon, but certainly objectively, right? Objectively. I think the sun in Gemini would help with that. Air signs are logical and, unless you're a crazy air sign, we won't mention who I might be talking about, or more than one, actually. There's a bunch of air signs that seem to be nuts. Interestingly enough, we have, just to point this out, not to make it about this, is that, of course, we know the ex-president is a Gemini. We also know his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, is a Gemini. I think Xi Jinping is a Gemini as well. And as far as other air signs, we have Putin, who is a Libra, and Netanyahu, who's also a Libra. So it's interesting that we have, and Zelensky is an Aquarius. He's a leader as well, although in that group of folk, I would say he's the only one I would want leading me. Anyway, interesting, right? All of these air sign leaders. And I don't know, it's pretty interesting. Just a thought that sort of rolled into my head, and I thought I'd share it with you. All right, back to the astrology. So we do have an opportunity, and we still have all the energy of yesterday. And if anybody sat through or my whole 18-minute, which was supposed to be the video I do in the morning that shouldn't be more than 5 minutes, ended up being 18 minutes because there was so much stuff going on with Venus and Jupiter and Neptune, and we're in this place of shifting energies and the start of the Gemini Palooza, and that's going to continue as the month continues. So we can expect. There was one thing that struck me. Just like, I don't know if you guys know about this, but there was a stage collapse in Mexico. I can't remember, Garza, something like that, Mexico. And it was at a political rally that was being held. Mexico was having their elections June 2nd. June 2nd is a pretty powerful day. But, is it, yeah, June 2nd. Yeah, June 2nd. So anyway, So they were at this rally, and there was this giant gust of wind, like giant gust of wind, and it blew down the stage, and it blew down, you know, what makes up the stage. And I believe 9 people, including 1 child, was killed. Unfortunately, of course, we send our condolences. It was sort of like a freak accident. But I want to point out that these big winds, and I know wherever you live, and some of you live in tornado country, these big winds were expressed in the chart that day as Pluto in Aquarius trined the sun in Gemini. And that's what I mean about the energy of this Pluto making trines to these Gemini planets. So that was the sun, and eventually it's going to trine Venus, and then Mercury's going to move in, it's going to trine Mercury, and Jupiter, it's going to trine Jupiter. And that's really the biggie, when it trines Jupiter, once Jupiter goes into Gemini, which is will happen shortly. A couple of days, actually, I think. This next week, maybe. Anyway, so for you, and I mention it because for those of you who live in areas where wind can be an issue, which is almost anywhere, certainly here on the southeastern coast of Massachusetts, wind has been the major difficulty. We haven't had too bad of winters. We've had a lot of rain, which isn't necessarily a bad thing unless we have flooding, of course. But the wind has just been crazy. And over the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years, we have lost, not us personally, although, you know, we have the leaning lady in the backyard. That was one of those windstorms, crazy windstorms that brought her down. But there have been a lot of trees come down because of that. We have a lot of big old trees around here. And so when we have these windy days, it's a little bit of a crapshoot as to what's going to remain and what's going to not. But that increased wind, and I think that wind also indicates the winds of change. And so let us work within the energies that we have, and maybe perhaps we can metaphorically blow out some old ideas that no longer serve us, so that we can start anew with sort of a new mindset, and a new mindset, but a constant heart set. We focus on love. All right, guys. Well, that's what's going on. Have yourself a great day. For those of you who might be interested in taking a intermediate astrology class with me, I am having a transit class. We're going to talk about transits to your chart. You have to have a general knowledge of the signs and the planets, the houses, and to a lesser extent the aspects, because I know those are the things that most people struggle with. But it really is a class for people who have those 4 things, at least a working knowledge, or can have a conversation with the language of astrology. That's going to happen Monday night, 7 to 9, on 6 consecutive Mondays, starting this coming Monday, the 27th of May. I do believe that is Memorial Day, the Monday, but it is 7 to 9. So, and all the classes get recorded. So even if you can't make all the classes, you will receive all the classes. Hi there, little bird. How you doing? These little catbirds are so chatty. Hi, how you doing? So that's the story. If you're interested in that, you can go to my website, theseedsoftransformation.com. That was the school bus just picked up some kids. Theseedsoftransformation.com. Go to the events page. That's where I list the classes. The events page will take you to where you can purchase the class, and I will get a notification, and I will send you the link for the classes later in the weekend. So if you're interested in that, please join us. We have a great class. We have a great group of people already, but it is a small class, so don't feel like you won't fit in or there isn't room for you. All right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful day. And ooh, I just noticed something else blooming here, so I'm gonna we'll end with this. Our little irises here. Woohoo! This whole thing here is irises. It's gonna be spectacular. All right, everyone. Namaste.